We are here in Bucharest, the capital city of Romania. First impressions are the traffic is extremely dense, very, very heavy. And there's some very interesting architectural differences between classical sort of European architecture and then more modern communist housing blocks. We got a lot of cool stuff planned, so let's go take a look at what the city has to offer. Today we have made our way up to the northern part of the city to visit a few different sites. Behind me you can see the Arch of Triumph. Now, there have been several arches on this site. This particular arch was inaugurated in 1936 to commemorate the sacrifices made to achieve victory in World War I. And it also celebrates the return of the exiled royal family. So apparently it's possible to get over to the center section where the arch is. We've been waiting a really long time for the crosswalk to change green and it hasn't, so we've given up. So we're not gonna see the center section, but it's a pretty impressive arch. If you're new to our channel, thanks for joining. I'm Chris.
And I'm Stephanie. We retired early, and now we travel the world full-time sharing our adventures on YouTube. I'm really excited today because we have come out to the Dimitrie Gusti National Historic Village Museum here in Bucharest. And all of the buildings here were brought in from villages outside of Bucharest to show and preserve historical village life here in Romania. So I'm super excited. Let's go see what we can find. So we just spent about two and a half hours here at the Historic Museum in Bucharest. I think it's a really great museum. The buildings are really, really beautiful. Tons of information in English outside the buildings. There weren't a lot that were open. I think there were 5 that we were able to actually go inside and see. I don't know if that's because it's the middle of winter and they probably don't have the demand for people going in. So it'd be interesting to see if people have been here during the summertime, if there was more open. So leave a comment if you have been in the summer. I think it's worth the visit. It was about $6.50 US for each of us to get in. So definitely worth the money. What do you think?
For the price, it was great. Good way to spend a couple hours outdoor. And I'd recommend coming. All right, next up we're gonna walk down the street and check out the House of the Free Press. So on our way in from the airport, we drove by this building that I thought was really cool. It's called the House of the Free Press, and it's got that really iconic sort of old style, I don't know if I'd call it communist, but I just love the architecture. And it's where the state newspaper was housed. I think it was originally called House of the Spark, which is, I think, you can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think it was the name of the state newspaper. And I think they also had some other publications that resided in this building. I don't think it's possible to go inside, but I just wanted to come take a look because I thought it was really cool. So here it is.
So after all that walking, we decided we really needed something to eat. So we popped over to a little place called Restaurant Beirut and just had some delicious Lebanese food. We've noticed here in Bucharest that we haven't seen a lot of traditional Romanian restaurants. There seems to be a lot of international cuisine, a lot of Italian, Middle Eastern, I mean, just all sorts of different types of restaurants here. So if you know of any really good traditional restaurants, leave us a message.
Okay, so we decided we were gonna head back towards our Airbnb, but I think it's like 8 kilometers away. So we're obviously not gonna walk that far, but we decided we'd walk through the city, or at least part of the city. We're walking through Kiseleff Park, I think that's what it's called. And as you can see behind me, the trees have all lost their leaves. We're here in the winter, and it's actually really mild out. So we're enjoying the fact that we can actually walk through the city without having heavy coats and snow gear on. So let's see what we can find on our walk back towards the city center. So as you can see, there's a lot of classical architecture here. We've really enjoyed the day today, but we're getting really tired. We've done a lot of walking, so we're gonna catch a metro and head back to our Airbnb. This morning, we got up earlier than usual to come out and take a tour of this very large building behind me. It's actually the heaviest building in the world at over 4 million tons. There are also something like 8 floors underneath this building, like 8 levels, including a nuclear shelter. So let's go take a look inside and actually learn some information. Towering over Bucharest, the Palace of the Parliament is the world's heaviest building and a monumental symbol of power. Ordered by communist dictator Nicolae Ceausescu in the 1980s, this colossal structure boasts over 1,000 rooms, extravagant marble halls, and crystal chandeliers. Built at an enormous cost to the nation, it remains a symbol of both grandeur and excess. Today it houses Romania's parliament, a museum, and conference halls, standing as a reminder of the country's turbulent history and architectural ambition. Okay, so we are now at Charles I Park, which is quite a distance away from the Parliament building, and there's a reason for that, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. But we did end up taking the tour of the Palace of the Parliament, and it was really, really cool. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, it's so big that you can only see like 5% of the building. And the 5% we saw was pretty amazing.
It was absolutely magnificent, just in the architecture and materials involved.
Absolutely huge rooms. I was hoping we might get to see some of the underground bunker layer, but of course that's not possible. But I think we enjoyed it. It was
very much.
It was pretty fun. Lasted about an hour.
Had a great tour guide.
Yeah, definitely had a good tour guide. But you don't get to see nearly as much as I was hoping for, but I can't fault them for that because the reality is you couldn't really, I think he said something like it would take...
Oh, he said if you spent 1 minute in every room in the building, it would take you 18 hours to do it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really fun fact.
That is a fun fact. But also, I mean, it is a working government building, so we can't go everywhere. I mean, they were having meetings and different things when we were in the building, so.
Yeah. So all in all, I think it was a good experience. It cost us 60 lei each, which ended up being about $12.50 each. So about $25 to go see the Palace of the Parliament. Definitely well worth it.
Yeah, definitely worth it. Take the earlier tour. We were there at 10 o'clock. It was a very small group and they get larger from what we could see during the day. After our great tour of the Parliament building, we walked over to the brand new People's Salvation Cathedral, which is nearby the Parliament building and is still under construction. We couldn't get too close, but what we saw from the outside was absolutely gorgeous. It is going to be the largest Eastern Orthodox cathedral by volume and area. So that's pretty big. And I think it's going to be really something to see when it's done.
I think it also will have the largest swinging bell.
Oh, free swinging bell?
Free swinging bell in the world.
That's pretty impressive.
When it's complete.
And I think it's also going to have a really, really magnificent collection of icons, of religious icons.
Yes, we were hoping that we might be able to somehow get closer than we were able to. I don't know how far we walked to get over there, but it was quite a distance. It's actually right behind the Palace of the Parliament. And it doesn't seem too far away when you look at the map, but it was quite a walk. And I'd say that the video that we got was mediocre, but you really can't get close to it, and there are kind of walls up around the perimeter. But I think it was interesting to go walk by, since we enjoy looking at very ornate churches, and Eastern Orthodox churches are very ornate. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was good, and it was good exercise. So.
Yeah.
So by this time we were starting to get hungry, and we kind of wanted to find a quiet place where we could record some of our thoughts after visiting the Palace of the Parliament. And it was very noisy, lots of traffic. It's a busy city, so you can't really expect to find lots of quiet places. But I had looked up on the map, and I had found the Palace of the Patriarchate, which is just up the hill, supposedly has some great views of the Parliament building, and is a very kind of well-known, iconic religious site. I didn't even know what a patriarchate was, so that's a new word for me. And Stephanie's going to explain what it is.
Okay, so the Palace of the Patriarchate, it holds the office of the Patriarch of the Romanian Eastern Orthodox Church. It has also housed the successive Romanian legislatures. And let's see what else. The building was vacated in 1997 when the Palace of Parliament was opened. And the present-day palace was built in 1709. Oh, I'm sorry, 1907.
I was going to say 1907.
1907, sorry.
Yeah, so that is where basically the legislature was before they moved into the Palace of the Parliament. And now it's basically a religious site. There's a really, really beautiful church there.
Really stunning.
We thought we would find a nice kind of tranquil place, maybe a little quiet park to do some recording. However, when we arrived, there was a nice big sign outside that said no video, no phone, no pictures. So we respected that. I'm a little disappointed because it's a beautiful building, beautiful church. I wanted to share that with everyone, but I took a picture when we were outside the boundary of the church property from the road. But that's all we got, unfortunately. So then we decided we still needed to record some video.
Yeah.
Where are we going to find a quiet place? That's when we decided to hop on a tram and head over to the Charles I Park, which is where the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier is housed. So what we're going to do is take a walk around this park and see what's here.
So we decided to finish up this day by visiting the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. And it was quite solemn, like you would expect, and there's a guard and an eternal flame. And we actually saw a changing of the guard, which was kind of special. So it's a beautiful monument here in Bucharest. And on that note, it has been a long day. We've walked just about 6 miles. So after all this walking today, we have decided to wrap it up. I think we're going to catch a tram back to our Airbnb, hopefully, because it's still quite a ways away. And we will see what adventures we get up to next.
Today is a museum day for us. We wanted to do a couple of things. The first one is we wanted to learn a little bit more about the history of the city of Bucharest. And we also wanted to learn a bit more about the history of the country of Romania. So we decided to come out to the Bucharest Municipal Museum, which is actually a collection of several different buildings. The one that we're going to visit is the Sutu Palace, and that has a bit of information, from what I understand, about the history of the city. After we're done with the Sutu Palace, we are going to head over to the National Museum of Romania and explore what that has to offer.
So we just finished our tour here at the Sutu Palace. The building itself is absolutely gorgeous. It's a former private residence, and they put a lot of money into its decoration and just the grandeur of it inside. The exhibits were really interesting. Lighting was a little odd for me, but it was a good exhibit, and I think it's worth your time to come see.
We are out here on Victory Road, which is a very historic place in Bucharest. We learned at the Bucharest Municipal Museum that it was the first, or one of the first roads in all of Europe to be lit, I assume with gas lighting. And it was the first road in Bucharest, or sorry, the first road in Romania to be lit with electric lights. So there are a lot of old cool buildings here. We've just been kind of walking around, checking them out. Very iconic. And we're about to head into the National Museum of Art. So let's go ahead and do that.
We've just spent the day at the National Museum of Art here in Bucharest, and all I can say is it is worth every second you can spend there. All of the collections are absolutely outstanding and world class. We were really blown away by some of the things we saw, and we definitely recommend it if you're here in Bucharest. We've just been inside the new St. George Church, which is behind me. It's a beautiful Orthodox church with amazing iconography, and the frescoes inside are really, really stunning. If you're in Bucharest, come visit. Beautiful, beautiful place. Good morning. We are out here early today at the National Museum of Romanian History here in Bucharest. I have high hopes for this museum based on our past museum experiences here in the city, so let's go see what we can find. After 2.5 hours in the museum, I was not disappointed. What did you think of it?
I liked it. There were a couple things that I enjoyed. One was a replica they have of Trajan's column, which we've actually seen something similar in the Victoria and Albert Museum in London, but the way they had it displayed was really interesting. And I guess there's a lot of, or historically there's a lot of interest in Trajan's column because it kind of recounted the history of Rome conquering, I think, Dacia. I think that's how you pronounce it, which is basically the Romanian region of Rome. I guess at one point somebody thought it was a really good idea to try to bring a replica of the column to Bucharest. And they tried, and they created the replica, and then the war started, and then the replica, I guess, sat in the Vatican for like 33 years, and then finally they brought it here. But the way that it's presented is really cool because all the parts of the column, rather than being fully assembled, are out on the floor, and you can walk through them and sort of read the story that it tells, which we hadn't really understood or known before.
No, not at all.
So it was kind of cool. I really liked that part. And then you, I think, really liked the treasury, right?
The treasury was absolutely gorgeous. I mean, come on, who doesn't love gold and jewels, to be honest with you? But one really cool thing that I've never actually seen before was the security they had was kind of interesting. You could see on some of the walls, they had like these Mission Impossible type lasers that they turn on at night, which was kind of interesting, but also gold and jewels. And lots of fancy things. Who doesn't like that? We've come out to lunch today to the restaurant behind me, Hygge. I think I'm saying that right. We want to try some Romanian cuisine. I think this place has a little bit of a twist on it. And then we want to try some Romanian donuts, which we wanted to try since we got here. So we got these really interesting and delicious drinks. At least I hope they're delicious. I'm going to read the descriptions because I definitely couldn't remember what they are. So Chris got the white hot chocolate with butterfly pea, coconut, and almonds. And the butterfly pea is what gives it the blue color. We had some experience with this in Thailand, and it's really, really cool. It gives a nice color. I don't think it changes the flavor. And I got the hot tonic. It's the pomegranate, passion fruit, and hibiscus, and it's got a nice half of a passion fruit in it, and I can't wait to try it. So we got this gorgeous, gorgeous plate to share. It's a local charcuterie board with local meat products and cheeses and some beautiful jam, really beautifully presented, and I think we get some sourdough with it, and I cannot wait to taste this. It looks gorgeous and delicious. So the goal of this lunch today was actually to get dessert, which has just arrived. We ordered some rice pudding, which is one of Chris's favorite things ever, and then these delectable looking Romanian donuts, and they smell so good and just look amazing. So these aren't going to last very long.
So that was an incredible lunch. The meat and cheese plate was way too much food, but we overindulged in that as we usually do. And the dessert was phenomenal. We've been wanting to try the Romanian donuts. They have like a sort of a yogurt and jam that comes with them, and wow, those were amazing. But then the rice pudding, which my grandmother used to make, which was quite good. This was over the top, like elevated to a level I've never had before. So overall, we really enjoyed this restaurant. If you're here in Romania, definitely check it out. We'll leave the information in the description. Now we're gonna go check out the Old Town, which is right down the street from here. So that's a wrap for our time here in Bucharest. We hope you enjoyed this video, and if you made it this far, you could do us a favor and just hit that like button just to let us know that you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for our next video because we're going to talk about where we stayed, how much we spent, and also how to get around the city. For now, safe travels, and we'll see you in the next one.